you and your furry friends will do just fine. Ta-ta!
Angel participates in this picnic under duress. It previously took the power of the stare to make him eat this. Rarity's front left leg disappears.
I can't just close the shop, so I was hoping you might consider running it.
Of course.
Fluttershy not having a single moment of anxious hesitation about this request is the first of many signs that she's not herself in this episode. Funnily enough, Twilight is too busy with the school to help. Meanwhile, the other main six are too busy with their lives to help with the school. In Rarity's search for help, she visits the farm to ask AJ, leaves, visits the farm to ask Big Mac, leaves, then visits again to ask Granny. It's no wonder she's running out of time to work on her dress. She spends more time looking for a replacement to avoid closing the shop than she spends working on the important thing prompting all of this in the first place. But also, this indicates Rainbow Dash of all ponies was her very first pick to run the store. Likewise, we had a whole episode devoted to why ApulJack is a bad fit for this. Fluttershy is not the only pony out of character in this episode, what with Rarity's poor decision-making and lack of time management skills. Attempted child labor.
It's a classic SCP system.
We're gonna need an SCP system to secure, contain, and protect us from Fluttershy after this episode. Rarity ringing up an actual item and producing an actual receipt inadvertently reveals her money laundering scheme. Rarity demonstrates how to correctly tie a ribbon with magic. Magic which Fluttershy does not possess, but that just makes it all the more impressive Fluttershy is able to keep up, and more difficult for those poor, desperate cartoon hoof theorists. Door chime only plays when certain ponies enter.
On the customer.
It plays for every pony except Earth ponies, apparently.
You've conquered your shyness 1,000 times over.
This is how fans talk about characters. No one wants to hear characters talk like this. Plus, Fluttershy overcoming her anxiety has always been less about suddenly changing who you are, and more about accepting who you are, leaning into your strengths and trusting your friends to fill out your weaknesses. Just as you can't argue with a stupid person without being brought to their level and beaten with experience, you can't have ponies talk about their own character traits without some stupid brony beating you with the experience of the show. These three wait to make an entrance with perfect dramatic timing, instead of, coming out to greet Fluttershy a long time ago. Almost as if Rarity knew Fluttershy wouldn't be happy about suddenly being left on her own, and this was deviously planned to distract her.
I'm sure you and your furry friends will do just fine. Ta-ta!
In the time it takes Rarity to return, those furry friends are going to set up an e-commerce website and sell more products on a server than Rarity could ever in-store. Oh, sorry, wrong furries.
Thread count?
Thread count is not that technical of a term, Fluttershy. In fact, it's far less technical than whatever you were going on about back in Season 1.
The arm size tight, the midi collar doesn't go with the shawl lapel, the hands are clearly machine stitched, the pleats are uneven, the fabric looks like toile, used a back stitch here when it clearly called for a top stitch, or maybe a traditional blanket stitch, and the overdesigners are missing a prêt-à-porter and not true French haute couture.
Oh, I've never tried to act before.
This is a strange line from Fluttershy, since she has both literally acted by wearing costumes and playing parts, but she also already acted in the assertive confidence sense too. Not only can Fluttershy tie this without fingers, she can even tie this without being connected to her shoulders. Rarity sure is taking her time strolling down this sidewalk, considering her haste a moment ago. If she's not actually in a hurry, could all this be yet another deception to convince Fluttershy to perform free labor? Rarity potentially loses two would-be customers by rudely bumping into them. But far more sinful than marshmallow collision is Rarity's unrealistic indecisiveness. After all this setup about the fashion show being so important and all the effort and desperation she went through to find a replacement for the store, she flips on a dime and decides to abandon the show. Then, a moment later, she changes her mind again. Is this the business pony who runs a successful fashion empire, or is this one of Rarity's alternate personalities? Fluttershy decides she needs a whole new personality to deal with this comparatively reasonable customer for no reason other than to give us...
That pony is woke.
And...
Too lit for you?
This store is a desperate wasteland of nothingness.
Clearly you're into desperate nothingness wastelands. Otherwise, you wouldn't have come to a store which looks nothing like a Hot Topic.
Do you have anything in black?
Come on, Fluttershy. This customer is even easier than the last one. You don't need an alternate personality to understand what the color black looks like. Instead of trying to trick customers, she could just politely admit she's filling in for Rarity and ask them to come back when she returns. That would be a very reasonable and very normal way for this to play out, but then the episode wouldn't be long enough to give us commercial breaks.
BRB.
With all the time Fluttershy saved by not saying, "Be right back," she went on to create world peace and cure every disease. That's the power of the butterfly effect.
Whoa, that color is like almost too lit for you?
More like too lit for this kid-friendly show. The only references to controlled substances have been inside this one building for some reason. Maybe that's where Rarity's suspicious wealth really comes from.
Either get it right or go back to the forest!
Still less racist than every creature. Whatever happened to Fluttershy, it must be really serious for her to turn on her friends like this, both animals and ponies. Like, this is more dramatic than the episodes where they lose their cutie marks or personalities, all combined. When this sort of thing happens in fiction, it takes an even more powerful force to get a character to snap back to reality, like memory magic or something. Can't wait to see what powerful thing they do in this episode. Spoilers, it's nothing. She just becomes her normal self again. Also, the word rodent is used as an insulting slur throughout the episode. But how do Fluttershy's rodent friends feel about that? This is only an offensive term if we discriminate against mice. Otherwise, everyone's reacting with this much shock and this much offense simply because of Fluttershy's very basic taxonomic misclassification.
Tortoise.
Whatever!
This store across the street is actually Rarity's shop. So where are we right now? The fashion show is taking place in Canterlot. However, this stage is identical recycled animation from Ponyville, as seen in both Green Isn't Your Color and On Your Marks, the latter of which ironically had a Manhattan set. Maybe this stage is somehow key to characters teleporting across Equestria between scenes.
I don't understand. When I left Fluttershy, she had everything well in hoof.
This is a lie. When Rarity left Fluttershy, it was a surprise to Fluttershy that Rarity wouldn't be around and would in fact be leaving the pony known for social anxiety alone to deal with ruthless customers. This customer already bought this dress earlier, but Fluttershy discovers a way to double sales by introducing forced unpaid returns.
This is worse than I could have possibly imagined.
Rarity lacks imagination. But to be fair, no pony could have possibly imagined Fluttershy would experience a mental break and start insulting customers for no reason. Fluttershy kissing Rarity is still more canon than ApulJack. Gothshy's black shoes manifest out of nothingness. One of the raccoons clips into the back room.
Did you see it?
Rainbow Dash's ear falls off.
Sorry if I hurt your feelings. You know I was only pretending, right?
Apologizing if the other party's feelings were hurt, then claiming it was just a joke, is definitely among the top 5 YouTuber apologies.
I'd never trust some horrible saddle row pony to run my shop.
Rarity can't even hide her disdain for her own customers, and to think she knowingly thrusted Fluttershy into this situation. The only person worse than a vain, overdramatic manipulator is a filthy consumer.
Regular Fluttershy.
Random laughter. Although it's not that random if you think of it as awkward laughter at the realization that their friend could have another unexplained psychotic break at any moment. Rarity knew these dresses were the source of Fluttershy's alternate personalities and didn't think twice about giving her a dress titled The Warrior of Inner Strength.
Think of it as a costume for your role as shop pony.
I think I need a new character.
His tea's like lukewarm, it's barely drinkable.
What makes you think you're so special?
She's acting worse than the worst Manhattanite I ever saw.
She kicked us out of the shop.
She called Smokey Jr. and Soft Pad every creature?